I was so nervous to tell him, but I just said, babe, I got laid off. They dissolved my position. I don't have a job anymore. And I could literally hear him talking through a smile on the other line. He said, hello, my name is Hannah, and if you're new here, same. Let's kick this channel off with a little story time, a little why I'm here and who this is for. So, it was a random Tuesday morning. I had been working as a video content producer for an app for about 7.5 years. I was mid-video project. I was actually about to submit a nearly finalized video for a new feature we were coming out with. I was so excited about it. But I noticed that I had a weird meeting thrown on my calendar over the weekend. So I hopped in the meeting. There were a lot more people there than I thought. And in about 15 minutes, I learned that my role had been dissolved. I no longer had a job. And that was just 7.5 years of my life done. Chapter closed. Now, I know that getting laid off is not usually an amazing thing. Not usually a congrats type situation. However, for years, my husband Mac and I had been circling this idea of me coming home and being a stay-at-home mom to our 2 boys. I mean, every time that I got pregnant and went on maternity leave, I was thinking, hoping, praying that I wouldn't have to go back to work. But the timing and the money, it was just never right for me to be a stay-at-home mom. And I did love my job. I had a good job. So I was fine to keep working. It was just always that question of when will I get to come home? So when the layoff happened, it was not all loss. I mean, it was a lot of loss. It really hurt. It was so jolting. There's not much that really prepares you for losing your income with no say, like in the blink of an eye. But alongside the loss was this door finally opening to something we had always wanted. Mac and I felt like we were never gonna make the decision for me to come home from work on our own. We were kind of moving toward it. I had actually just asked a few weeks prior if I could move from full-time to part-time, if they would consider that. So we were taking steps to get closer, but I don't know. It's hard to leave a job and leave behind income. So when my employer made the choice for me, we both just kind of took it as a sign. In fact, right after the layoff call happened, I finally got in touch with Mac. It took a while, like an hour and a half, which feels like forever when you're like maybe in a state of shock. But I was so nervous to tell him, but I just said, babe, I got laid off. They dissolved my position. I don't have a job anymore. And I could literally hear him talking through a smile on the other line. He said, congrats, babe, that's amazing. Now, I've never been laid off before, but usually that's not the response you expect. But we both just knew, like, okay, wait, hold on. We've been wanting Hannah to come home for forever. Is this the time? So we made the choice. It was pretty easy. We had a few months of expenses covered in the bank, so it felt like, okay, let's take a few months to just try this. Hannah, go be a stay-at-home mom. Let's see how it goes. And I was pumped. But here's the thing that no one warns you about. If you don't know me, I am terrifically, beautifully, certifiably type B. It's not that my brain isn't firing on all cylinders, it's that my brain is actually firing on every single possible cylinder that has ever been invented in all of space and time. If there's another name for that, let me know. I've never been officially tested for ADHD or whatever. I just kind of assume I would benefit from following the guidelines they give ADHD people, because it sure feels like it. But yeah, I did not get a slow transition into this stay-at-home mom life. No, I did not. I went into it 100 miles an hour, full speed ahead, no warning, thrown into the deep end at lunchtime. And the stay-at-home mom life is already hard. You talk to any woman in your life who stays home with their kids, and they will tell you how draining it is, how many logistics there are. You are on all the time. You never get a break. So to be thrown into the stay-at-home mom life with no prep time, no warning, and this type B brain, it was a whole different beast. For example, there were multiple days where my husband got home from work and was just like, hey, how'd the toddler nap today? Oh my gosh. Yes, he does take a nap. Oh, not today, I forgot. Because my brain is maybe either always in the moment or always thinking about what other disaster might happen 5 minutes from now. I don't really know. Or, you know, like when you realize that lunchtime, oh yeah, it was 2 hours ago. So you run to your kitchen and you realize that there are like 2 frozen dino nuggets in the freezer and you could make a PB&J on some stale bread. And that's all the plan you had. I know some type A moms out there, and I gotta say I'm a little jealous sometimes. How does your brain know how to sort things into categories and be aware of time and like remember anything about anything? Where's that secret sauce? And who's hoarding it all? Because I did not get any of it. And then that's when I realized I have spent 8 years of my life making videos about someone else's passion. I still love the chance to be on camera, to share what I know with people and interact with the online community. It's one of my favorite things. But I've never had the chance to point the camera at something that I cared about. So that's what this is. With this channel, I want to document the process of a stay-at-home mom with a very type B brain learning how to build her systems, tame the chaos, figure out the meal plan, stick to a sleep schedule. All these things that I always thought when I'm finally a stay-at-home mom, then I'll have time to figure that out. Then I will have the brain space to learn what the heck I'm doing. I don't want to show up after I have everything figured out. I want to let people in while I'm figuring it out. Because as a type B mom, there's nothing worse than seeing everyone else seemingly have it pulled together while you are drowning and feeling like this is just how I am. I don't even know if I can change this. So if you are a mom who wants more systems and less chaos, and maybe don't mind watching me wash my dishes while I make a video or show up in what I was wearing the day before, then please come along with me. I want the same thing. I will be here with yesterday's mascara on, figuring it all out, one little step at a time. So for the first time ever on this channel, I am so happy to say thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Thought it'd probably only be right to show you what we're working with before this video ends. This is what I was filming in, you guys. So definitely not trying to be anything we aren't around here. Definitely not trying to be something we are not. If this is something you can relate to and you don't mind looking at it, girl, come along. Peep the paint job that's not even finished yet. Yes, it has been that way for a month, but that's not on me, that's the husband. That's fine. It was a tractor.